Hello, this is Benjamin Fulford speaking on April 10th, 2026. In our Monday report, we wrote that several sources told us that the fake Donald Trump had been taken to the Bethesda Naval Hospital and that he appeared to have died. Now, since then, they have been posting what look like comments by him on Truth Social, but the actual fake Trump has not appeared before the press since that time. But the important thing to notice here is that immediately after he disappeared, the U.S. military announced a peace agreement with Iran that basically, meant a complete surrender. Then, after that, the people behind the fake Trump started issuing comments on Truth Social, and then have this Karen Levitt say that, oh no, this is a non-starter, we can't do this. And then the Israelis attacked Lebanon to make it the point that there is no peace agreement with Iran. Well, no, there's no peace agreement between Israel and the Zionists and Iran, but the U.S. military has reached a peace agreement, and they will not be attacking Iran on behalf of the Zionists. So what's happening is the remnant Zionists are going to be basically doing a masada, and fight to the death, because they cannot believe that the creator of the universe didn't give them the right to enslave us all. And they're going to go down hard. They're like rabid dogs. There's nothing else you can do about it. Listen to this Professor Marandi from Iran explain why the Iranians cannot negotiate with the Zionists.
And one major problem, of course, is that Trump may not even be in charge. If it is the Israeli regime and the Zionist lobby in the United States that are running the show, then negotiating with the United States is futile. So there are multiple reasons why the Iranians are not negotiating right now. One is, of course, experience. We had an agreement with the United States, the nuclear deal of 2015. Trump tore it up. Then we were negotiating last year, and as we were negotiating, the United States was quietly conspiring against Iran, and then they launched a war. And of course, for this war we saw the same thing. We saw negotiations, and then the Omani foreign minister said there was progress, and then we had a sudden attack. So that is, these are other reasons why we don't feel it's of any use to negotiate with Trump. But there's this added issue, and that is that who is in charge of the White House? Who is the real boss?
So basically, they turn around and they stab you in the back. And they've been doing this for a long time. You can ask the First Nations of the United States about how many treaties have been broken, or anyone else who does a treaty with these people. They're just not to be trusted. And here you can listen to Professor Jeffrey Sachs, speak for the majority of the thinking people in North America and the world about this regime.
Open the straits, you crazy. This is a president of the United States. This is just murder before our eyes by a deranged old man and an absolutely vicious war criminal, Benjamin Netanyahu. Presumption is that the reason the supreme leader, Khamenei, and so many government officials were together is that they had made progress in the negotiations. And Mossad, which is a murder machine, said, oh, they're all together, let's kill them all. And Trump said, yeah, that's a splendid idea, let's kill them all. You might think, oh, these clever people, they must be so well advised. They must know what they're doing. It's puzzling. Why didn't they think of that? Because they're not smart, they don't calculate, and they don't listen, and they have no respect for anybody else. Trump says, oh, NATO, we should end NATO. And God, I hope he does.
The daddy and the child analogy has completely turned on its head there.
Well, the guy behaves like a 3-year-old. I know that the Iranians did not want a nuclear weapon and they wanted to negotiate. I know that because they called me repeatedly.
with arguably the strongest military and the greatest intelligence, how does a country make such a colossal miscalculation?
It's also got the stupidest president in the world. And he's going to kill a lot of people tomorrow on his whim. And our Congress stands back, just asking, oh, what do you think he will do? How many people will he kill? Will he follow through? Not, how do we stop this madness? Because this is madness.
You think they're waiting it out, that there's just 2 or 3 more years to go and then Donald Trump will be out?
I'll tell you, the Middle East will not last 3 years. I don't know if it'll last 3 months.
So now they have sent their Jared Kushner and Witkoff and these clowns to Pakistan to supposedly negotiate something. They're not in a position to negotiate anything. Those are hunted people. They will be taken down as mass murderers and war criminals. And their whole fake show is going to be unplugged. And people, the secret handlers behind it, like Leo Zagami, are going to be exposed. The idea of having actors pretending to be a government instead of actual representatives of the people is just not going to be allowed to continue. And the U.S. military, you know, very wisely knows that you don't pick a fight you're going to lose, and you don't fight for a cause that's not just. If they were fighting to actually protect Americans, nobody in the world could beat them ever. But if they're going to steal oil or something for criminals, then they don't have the right on their side, and that has big effects. Here's a very interesting video put out by the Iranians showing their version of what happened to the Special Forces attack on Iran. That basically, this is what caused the American military to pull the plug on any more moves against Iran. But watch it because it's very interesting. So all these highly trained, very intelligent warriors were wasted by idiots, okay? And that's the point of the U.S. military. Like the greatest fighters on earth working for a bunch of criminal thugs. Well, those days are over. The U.S. military is now working, as is supposed to be the case, for the American people. This whole charade is unraveling in full time, and maybe the best example is the fake moon flight that's now being put on our screens. I think they're obviously trying to say, hey, guess what, everybody? We never went to the moon, and NASA is a film studio. I mean, they even said in their press conference that this would be the first time people are going to the moon at an official press conference. So if it's the first time, then what happened with the Apollo missions? Take a look at these videos showing how it seems to be they're literally coming out of the closet to say this is all a movie studio. It's a sign that some kind of big push to open things up is happening. Another thing is, there's still a very vicious fight going on between the white hats and the people controlling the fake Trump and the White House, press room. But take a look at this video of Darkesh Safid. This is one of the people who was behind the scenes, wasn't supposed to be, one of the handlers of the fake Trump, wasn't supposed to be in public. Here, it's a video of him dying at a press conference in the White House, which is supposedly the most secure place on earth. So obviously somebody's getting to these people, and while all this is going on, there is behind the scenes some very high level, very important negotiations taking place. The Chinese and the Dragon family have made an offer to the collective West. This offer is unlimited financing to, first of all, cancellation of all debt, public and private, and then unlimited financing that you don't have to pay back. It's not a loan, it's a grant. You take it, it's yours. It's not something you have to pay back. And the West would have a veto. They would designate someone who has a veto all over how the funds are being used. But obviously the condition for this is you have to remove the mass murdering war criminals like Bill Gates from any position of power and influence in the West. Now, Bill Gates is going to supposedly have some sort of hearing where he's going to try to whitewash the fact that he, or the collective that he is a symbol of, is not a mass murderer. That's not going to happen. So the funds are there, the offer's on the table, we're waiting for a response. It was sent via MI6 to the Western intelligence. I know the British are already on board, and so are the Canadians, the French, most of the West, except the group controlling the fake Trump and Israel, because they still think they're going to murder 90% of humanity and enslave the rest. And it's just not going to happen. And the other thing I can say is that if this agreement is reached, there's nothing to stop Israel from rebuilding the third temple. All they have to realize is that it's not at the site of the Al-Aqsa Mosque. That is the site of an old Roman fortress. The site of the second temple is elsewhere, and there's no reason why they can't build it again. But it's not going to be a temple where there are going to be animal or human sacrifices. It's going to be a place where people can go and make charitable donations. So, we're waiting. And in the meantime, if they don't take their offer, they're going to face revolution. I mean, literally, it's the farmers, for example, in Ireland who've paralyzed the country because of all the stupid policies of their leadership. Take a look at this. Ireland is paralyzed. They're going to try to call in the army, but I don't think the army is going to go against their own farmers, because they have legitimate gripes. And again, it's going to be either you accept this Dragon family deal or it's going to be peasants with pitchforks at your gates. And the Epstein stuff is not going to go away. You're not going to be able to sweep that under the rug. That has to be accounted for. Enough is enough. But I remain hopeful that the Western White Hats will accept this Dragon family offer, and then we can start rebuilding the West and once again be able to, outcompete China and anyone else. If we hadn't been infected with these Zionist parasites, and this has nothing to do with the Jews, okay, we would never have lost to China. That's the story. Okay, well, that's what I have to say for myself today, this week, so now I'd like to answer questions from readers and viewers.
Hi, Ben. We have our first question for today. As you said, Iran has now agreed to a ceasefire. Do you think that this is a sign confirming that the real Donald Trump is back in office and the Iranian government knows that?
I don't know if the real Donald Trump is back. I still haven't seen any sign of this, but I saw what looked like the real Melania, making it quite clear she had nothing to do with Epstein or Epstein Island. And this one has never appeared with the fake Trump because she's much taller than him. But I didn't see the real Trump. But nonetheless, the people who supported the real Trump and his agenda are definitely making a move against the people using the fake Trump. And I wish them all the best, and I really hope that we see the real Trump again. Next question.
Hi, Ben. If, as you say in your reports, that the U.S. and Israeli regime have lost all their air superiority and have suffered their greatest defeat in history, how are they still able to launch attacks and kill 250 plus people, as we have seen just recently in Lebanon?
I didn't say they lost all their air superiority. I said they lost 60% of their F-35s, which is the most powerful planes they have. So they're still able to attack Lebanon, but they're not able to attack Iran. And they're going to pay the price for that attack. This regime is no longer supported by the U.S. military. They're no longer being supplied by the U.S. military. And there is a massive army closing in on all sides. So they're doomed. Make no doubt about that. Next question.
Hi, Ben. I hear one of the biggest fires ever is burning right now in Nebraska. It's not in the news, and I'm not sure why. A huge chicken farm was burned in Iowa. They're blocking fertilizer and raising the price of diesel. They're trying to set up a food shortage in the next 3 months, and I think they will kill over 1 billion people by starvation. They are also trying for World War III to make this all happen. What are your thoughts on this?
They're definitely trying to create a starvation crisis because they're still trying to kill us off, and they're for example, creating artificial shortages of fertilizer and trying to blame it on China. They're the fact is that the Straits of Hormuz are open and fertilizer is flowing, but they're trying very hard to kill us, which is why we have to take necessary action as legitimate self-defense. We have to take these people down. We have to remove their control of the mega corporations. That means BlackRock, Vanguard, and all the Fortune 500 companies have to be temporarily nationalized and taken away from the control of these people. Next question.
Hi, Ben. What's happening right now in the European governments? We seem to have heard much about that since the war in Iran has started. It seems to have taken most of the spotlight. Is there anything currently going on right now that's not in the news that you know about in Europe?
Well, the main thing is that they've openly broken with the Zionists and the Trump regime. They've all reached deals with Iran, including Japan and South Korea too. That's why they're still getting their oil and so basically, what's happened is Europe has broken with the fake Trump regime and the people behind him, and that's the big news there. And the other thing, of course, is the French police raided the Edmond de Rothschild Bank, and they arrested a very high-level Freemason assassination ring that targeted top European leadership. So clearly, Europe is returning to democracy and the rule of law, and this satanic influence is being removed from Europe. And this is probably why the fake Trump people are threatening to kill the Pope, because the Catholic Church is not with the fake Trump regime either. They're really isolated, and Europe has definitely broken off, but of course a lot more needs to be done, but they are moving in the right direction. Next question.
Hi, Ben. What is your true take on China? We, as the world, typically see China as this technologically advanced metropolis. Are they a population that would also like to see other countries thrive, in your opinion, or do you see them as being aggressive?
Well, if you look at their history, for 2,000 years, they haven't gone around invading their neighbors. They haven't tried to conquer India or even Southeast Asia. I think that they got their nose bloodied in Vietnam a long time ago, and that's about it. Except, so, they like win-win solutions. Their view is that if they make the customers rich, the customers will make them rich. But my advice is you go to China and see for yourself and decide for yourself. However, I also want to say that we don't want this to be a one China world. We want China to be one pole in a multipolar world. We don't want China to replace Western hegemony. All right, well, I hope to see you next week, and I hope soon we'll have the announcement of the Jubilee.